by reviewing each MIP. Starting from the Work Center view in Sked, select PMS Documents. Then select each MIP and review the rates column. In our first example, MIP 1651/005, you will notice that MRC24M1 requires a qualified gas-free engineer in order to accomplish this check. The same is true for the U3 and U8 checks. In our next example, MIP 46888029, you will notice that MRCR23Q has a 4-digit NEC code next to the ratings listed. This indicates a specific NEC requirement for conducting this check. The Work Center needs to have proof of these NEC qualifications for personnel conducting these types of checks. In our next example, MIP 61222001, you will notice that MRCS2 requires a safety observer. This requires a safety petty officer qualification in order to complete this check. In our final example, MIP 6200/001, MRCA1 requires a DCPO qualified personnel and a division officer to accomplish this check. Continue this review for all MIPs to ensure that all checks that require special qualifications are identified. Starting from the Work Center view, select Journal from the Sked menu and select Revision Finalized from the categories listed. Ensure the person listed as the authorizing authority is the department head. This should be the case for all revisions. To review weekly closeout, start from the dashboard view. Note that an access level of LCPO or higher may be needed to perform the following tasks. From the dashboard view, we will be focusing on the data presented in the AAR or Administrative Accomplishment Review column. Select the date range to be reviewed. Then select Refresh. In this example, we will review OI Division's AAR. From the date range selected, OI Division conducted 8 weekly closeouts, and 4 of them were late. This may not be accurate, as some closeouts may have occurred on a Tuesday due to the previous Monday being a holiday. So each closeout date needs to be examined and compared with the calendar. We will accomplish this by clicking on the total number of closeouts in the total column. This will show the closeout data for that Work Center to include the originator, PMS week date, date accomplished, and due date. We will be verifying the dates in the accomplished column with the calendar to ensure all closeouts were accomplished on time. In this example, we see that closeouts on December 11th and 18th were completed on time. However, the closeout conducted on the 27th was 1 day late, as it should have been accomplished on the Tuesday the 26th, since Monday the 25th was a holiday. Another method to conduct this review is by going back to the AAR details window and selecting the number indicated in the late column. This will show you the weeks that have been flagged by Sked as being late. Repeat the same steps discussed earlier to confirm that these closeouts were late and not due to a Monday being a holiday or a day off. All closeouts need to be completed by either the division officer or the LCPO. This information can also be verified from the AAR details window in the originator column. In this example, the closeout originator column shows that 1 closeout was conducted by the LPO vice the LCPO or division officer. This is a discrepancy. To verify alerts acknowledged by the department head, select the dashboard view and ensure the correct date range has been selected for this review. Then, select the PAR score for the division to be reviewed. From the periodic accomplishment details window, select the total alerts in the alerts column. This will display all alerts for the Work Center. Scroll to the far right to view the acknowledged by column. The names listed in this column should be the department heads or the acting department heads. From the Work Center view, select Review. Then select each MIP to verify each maintenance items. Nomenclature, serial number, location, and equipment. Note: serial numbers used should be the actual serial number listed on the equipment. If no serial number is available, a unique identifier or positional reference ID, PRID, may be used by the Work Center. To review equipment associations. From the Work Center view, select Review. Then select each MIP to verify each maintenance item's ship's RIN and CDM RIN. A RIN is a record identification number used by both Sked and OHMs to identify a piece of equipment. CDM RINs are created by a configuration data manager, and the ship's RIN is assigned to a piece of equipment by the ship's OHMs NG system. Associating equipment and Sked to their CDM RINs or ship RINs enables both Sked and OHMs to communicate maintenance or parts-related information about a piece of equipment in the future. Select each MIP and review the CDM RIN column and ensure this column is not blank and that the data entered is correct. If blank or incorrect, this information can be updated by selecting Work Center from the Sked menu. Then select Edit Equipment Details from the drop-down menu. Select the MIP to be updated. Then select the maintenance item. To edit the CDM RIN or the ship's RIN, select the box to the far right with the 3 small dots. This will open the equipment search window to enable you to search for CDM RIN data and Sked. It should be noted that Sked does not communicate directly with OHMs due to current server restrictions with NIOPs. The CDM RIN and ship's RIN information available in Sked is from the latest force revision. Therefore, if CDM RIN information is not found in Sked, a second search should be conducted in OHMs. If the equipment information is not found after both searches in Sked and OHMs, coordinate with your 3M coordinator to create a new configuration item in OHMs to be approved and populated by the configuration data manager. Use the drop-down menus or enter text into search text edit box to narrow your search. You can enter as much or as little criteria as you like. Click Go to perform the search. The CDM RIN and ship's RIN data can be entered directly by double-clicking the CDM RIN or ship's RIN box and editing it with the new information. From the dashboard view, select the date range to be reviewed. Select the division to be reviewed. Then select the number shown in the sort column. This will show the situational accomplishment details window. This window provides a list of completed situational checks that were scheduled or completed by the division. It should be noted that the category, User Scheduled, indicates checks were scheduled manually by using the plus sign in Sked device using triggers or states as dictated by the 3M instruction. Try to have this number be 0. Situational checks and events will be cross-verified with the ship's event calendar, maintenance logs, and record books as applicable. Dates of events or dates of event logs must match the date shown in Sked. Check note entries in Sked can be updated to justify date discrepancies. To conduct a detailed review of all situational checks, from the Work Center view, select Situational. This should bring you to the report page. This section is broken up into 4 categories: Global State, Global Trigger, Local State, Local Trigger. We will discuss and define all 4 categories for greater understanding. First, state versus triggers. A state is a condition, while a trigger is an event. Examples of a state or condition would be, while at sea, while in port, or while in use. Examples of triggers or events are, getting underway, flight quarters, or an underway replenishment. Global versus local. Global states or events are triggered by the 3MC. These are for events or conditions that affect multiple work centers. Local states or events and are triggered by the work center, as these only affect a given work center. During the review, the focus should be on the local states and local triggers. The work center supervisor need to be intimately familiar with the work center's local triggers and local states. In this example, we will examine CAO1's local triggers. The triggers are grouped by a general description of the events that require the maintenance requirements. This normally is elaborated in the scheduling notes. By clicking on each grouping, it provides a listing of the situational checks matching that scheduling note. The scope of the check or maintenance description. When the check should be scheduled. MIP and MRC information. All work center supervisors, LCPOs, and division officers need to thoroughly review these maintenance requirements to ensure situational checks are being scheduled and accomplished on time and that checks are not being omitted. Next, review the local states. In this example, there are 2 conditions and a total of 3 checks. In use, 2. While de-energized.